9 News Plus weather, sponsored by Carrier Colorado. The future of home comfort is here.
Hey, thanks so much for joining us here on 9 News Plus on this very hot Monday. I'm 9 News meteorologist Chris Bianchi with a detailed look at your scorching Colorado weather forecast. Probably not talking about 100 degrees here in Denver, at least officially at the airport. Chance that a few of us here in the metro area get to 100, but no matter how you slice it, it is very hot out there. It's also unusually humid or muggy for the fact that it is so hot. I'll explain all this for you here in just a second. Meantime, look outside and nothing but blue skies overhead. It is one of those days here, folks. It is the middle of summer. It is certainly going to feel that way as we head over the next little while. Look out, Matt. One thing you might notice off in the distance there, you can just see just a little bit of that humidity. Notice there's just a little layer of haze, or what appears to be haze off in the distance. It's actually not haze. What you're looking at there and what's restricting visibility just a little bit, it's actually humidity. With all the rain we've had, we're evaporating all that moisture back up into the atmosphere, and what you're seeing, again, that is just evaporating water that you're looking at off in the distance, and that's probably what's going to keep us from getting to 100 degrees later on today. So today it's scorching hot for us, slightly cooler tomorrow, but I wouldn't exactly put on the winter parka. We're talking about a high of 95, 96 for tomorrow, and then much cooler temperatures by the end of the week with widespread stronger storms. Heat advisory in place. This is the first one for the Front Range so far this year. That one goes until 8 p.m. tonight with temperatures up to 100 degrees for us through the entire urban corridor. Further south, temperatures as hot as 105 for southern Colorado, where we also have a heat advisory, and that also includes our friends out in the San Luis Valley. And perhaps the hottest part of the state, by the way, is going to be the western slope. A few spots there might touch 107, maybe even a 108 reading, not out of the realm of possibility in places like Fruita, Grand Junction, Rifle. As you get below 5,000 feet, I wouldn't be surprised if somebody gets to 107, 108 today. And also, I'll show you this in just a second as well. Grand Junction, your forecast high of 105 today. Hottest temperature ever recorded in Grand Junction is 107. And there's a chance, probably won't get to 107, but might be flirting with that later on this afternoon. Meantime, as we take a look at the forecast in terms of those showers and storms, it's dry for 95% of us today. Maybe one or two isolated storms in the northern mountains along and north of I-70. Otherwise, expecting today to be mostly dry. One spot to maybe watch out for the potential for a storm tonight would be the far northeast corner of the state. That would be Logan, Sedgwick, and Phillips counties, maybe Yuma County as well. And that's where we're going to have a little line of storms that moves its way through Nebraska, and that'll probably miss northeast Colorado, but there's a chance that maybe those three counties get clipped by that little line of storms later on tonight. So for our friends out there, Logan, Sedgwick, Phillips counties, those would be the only areas to watch out for the possibility for some storms later on this evening. Meantime, temperatures, that is the story. 85 degrees in Denver right now as of 11 a.m. Again, to me, we're probably going to end up short of 100 here in town, but no matter how you slice it, it is really hot out there. Look at that in Pueblo, 97 right now, 88 in Grand Junction, Salt Lake City already at 96. It is really hot outside, but this is the number that kind of is probably going to keep us a little bit in check today. That dew point, the higher the number, this number is, the more moisture you have in the atmosphere. And a 52-degree dew point is, if you're coming from the East Coast and Midwest, this is not at all muggy for what you are used to, but for Denver standards, this is pretty unusually humid for a day as hot as this one. Normally, when it's near 100 degrees or above 100 degrees here in Denver, our dew points are in the 20s, the 30s, maybe low 40s. But when we're talking about a dew point of 52 degrees, that is an unusual amount of moisture that you've got in the air mass. And the reason I explained that is that water heats less efficiently than land does. Think about how long it takes to boil a pot of water as opposed to, the pot around it will heat up instantly, right? Same kind of dynamics are in place when you're talking about an air mass. If you've got more water in it, it's going to heat less efficiently. So we've just got a lot more water in the atmosphere right now compared to usual. That's why I think today we may end up with a high temperature of quote unquote only 97 or 98 degrees as opposed to 100. No matter how you slice it here, folks, it's scorching out there. And also, that humidity is going to make it feel a bit warmer than it might otherwise be for 97, 98. So it's going to feel like a very hot day if it isn't already for you. And look at these high temperatures across the state. forecast high, probably 100 for us in Greeley, 105 in Grand Junction. I mentioned, again, Grand Junction's highest temperature on record is 107 degrees. Lamar, Pueblo, well over 100 degrees. So again, it is a sizzling day for most of us. For tonight, temperatures drop back into the upper 60s, and those winds, generally speaking, on the light side. But tomorrow, a little cooler with a chance for an isolated storm tomorrow afternoon. Most of us stay dry for tomorrow, but it's a little cooler with more afternoon cloud cover. That'll probably keep those temperatures in check a bit compared to today. Highs tomorrow we're still talking about temperatures that in most cases will be running about 5 to 7 degrees above our seasonal average for this time of year. We're on average in the upper 80s for us in the metro area. Now, one other thing to watch for is on Wednesday, we're going to get some relief thanks to a cold front. That's the good news. The bad news is that's probably going to pull in a little bit of Canadian wildfire smoke. You've probably seen some of the images from Montana, the Dakotas, Minnesota, the Midwest have seen a lot of that smoke. This ridge of high pressure that's giving us this really hot air today is actually steering that Canadian smoke off to our north. But because of that cold front moving its way on in by Wednesday, that'll allow some of that smoke to push its way into the Front Range. So unfortunately, I know we haven't talked a lot about this so far this summer, but I do anticipate we'll see some wildfire smoke move its way into the picture later on this week, starting on Wednesday. That said, that's the bad news. The good news is we're going to get widespread showers and storms, but more importantly, much cooler temperatures thanks to the monsoon. And this is the first week that I think we're talking about widespread monsoonal showers and storms for us across eastern Colorado. Southwest Colorado seen a little bit of this monsoon action last week and the week before, but this is the first week that I think we're talking about true monsoon moisture for us here across the eastern part of the state. And so you're probably wondering, what exactly is the monsoon? Now, the monsoon itself is not a rainstorm. All it is, it's a changing of the wind direction, and it's caused by really strong high pressure across the southwest United States. And here's a little kind of graphical detail about how it works. You get a ridge of high pressure that develops over the southern United States that pumps up moisture out of the Gulf of Mexico, and then we get a monsoon low that sets up over northwestern parts of Mexico, and that draws up moisture out of the Pacific and the Gulf of California. And what it means for us is we're getting a lot of southerly winds and a kind of a tropical southerly wind. And that means we've got widespread showers and thunderstorms that tend to develop this time of year. And again, that is the monsoon. Again, it just means that the wind direction is changing from the west or the north to more of a southerly wind. And that southerly wind, again, tends to mean a lot more moisture for us here in Colorado. And that's what we're going to start to see later on this week. And we'll see that southerly pull return for later on as the week, especially Wednesday and Thursday. And that could mean some strong to even severe thunderstorms back into the picture by Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. But again, the good news is, look at those much cooler temperatures. We're dropping down to the 80s for us by the time we get near Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. We're just in the low 80s, which is below our seasonal average in the upper 80s, and we start to warm back up again. Looks like that ridge builds back in by early part of next week, which means we'll tack on some more 90-plus days, only 4 of those so far this year. Today, basically near lock to be day number 5 at 90 or above so far this year, and we'll add probably a few more of those 90-degree days later on into the week. So, top line takeaways: today hot, tomorrow still hot, but maybe an isolated dry thunderstorm tomorrow. What do I mean by that? You get a few raindrops in the windshield, maybe some lightning. That's pretty much it, but a bit more cloud cover tomorrow afternoon. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, widespread showers and thunderstorms on tap for us. Most of those will be during the afternoon and early evening hours. And Thursday at this point looks like it could be the stormiest day of the upcoming stretch. We'll have more for you on all this kind of active, hot, stormy weather for us with meteorologist Greg Perez. I'll have an update for you coming up at 9 News at noon and also at 2 p.m. right here on 9 News Plus. Then we'll have Chief Meteorologist Kathy Sabin in at 4 and 5 this afternoon, and Meteorologist Danielle Grant in at 6, 9, and 10 tonight on the 9 News family of networks. Once again, I'm 9 News meteorologist Chris Bianchi. Thanks for joining us here on 9 News Plus. Have a great rest of your Monday, and also stay cool out there.